Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Four Horsemen Mythic Legions Baron VOLLIGAR figure, which is basically just a knight. He's got a lot of black on him and a lot of silver and some purple, which is a classically recognized bad guy color scheme. So I'm assuming he's a bad guy, but if not, it's just a really cool looking character. And there's some really nice things about this guy and some things that maybe aren't quite so nice, but we're going to talk about all of that. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands about 6 3/4 inches to the top of his head, about 7 3/4 inches to the top of that dragon thing on top of his helmet. So that makes him about 17 and a half and then 19 and a half, right around there. I mean, obviously those aren't the exact conversions, but it's close enough to give you an idea. And it's pretty cool looking. One of my favorite things about this guy is that he's got the metallic silver and then the somewhat satiny or, kind of satin finish for the cloth parts, which are, I mean, they're supposed to look like cloth. They're not actually cloth. But then he's got a lot of flat on him for the flat black for like the gauntlets and the boots. That's really cool. The way they've intermixed the flat with the metallic looks very nice, especially down here on the sides, especially with the purple on there. A little bit more purple in here. It's very, very cool looking. I like it a whole bunch. And the cool thing about this guy is he does have the interchangeable armor just for the shoulder pads, really. He uses a lot of the same armor as the other figures, which is kind of like what this whole Mythic Legions thing is. They're all reusing various parts, but in pretty clever and pretty well thought out ways. So that's cool. But let's talk about the accessories. We do have the two big shoulder pads, which make him look really cool. I like those a whole bunch. We have a strap that can go around his torso, which will hold his sword onto his back if you want it to. So he does have the sword. He also has a shield with that logo on the front, just like the one on his chest. And then he has a giant banner staff thingy, which is very nicely put together. It has the little dragon wings from the one gnome or whatever they were called. I don't remember anymore. Dwarf, I think is what he was. And if that staff thing is just too big for you, you can take out the middle section if you want to. So that's kind of nice. So that's it for the accessories. Not too many, but definitely they have a lot of plastic to them. So that's pretty cool. Now, as far as this guy goes, like I said, he's basically the same as all the other ones. He has a ball peg for the head, which allows it to move around really nicely. That's pretty cool. This collar piece is a soft plastic. It's only connected in the back, so it'll just kind of flex as you need it to. If you need it to, you really won't. One thing that bugs me a little bit is that if you look into the eyes of the helmet, it's not sculpted inside. It just has the key for how it's put together. Like there's a plug of plastic in there, it looks like. Or it's all one sculpt. I'm guessing it's two sculpts. That way they had the piece inside. But anyway, there's just kind of like lines put in there. It doesn't look quite right. So if you want to look at his eyes, don't. They're not in there. Nice paintwork throughout, though. It's very clean. You can see the silver to gray or silver to black is very well done. So that's cool. The shoulders, he does have fully sculpted different shoulders than some of the other guys. I mean, I know some of the parts are reused, but they're not reused excessively. So that's cool. Like he's different than the orc I just reviewed. Not quite horizontal for the range of motion. You can't quite bring them all the way out to the front just due to how far in they're set. So, I mean, it does look good, but they are pretty limited. For the elbows, it's the same. We have that bicep swivel. So how it works is it pegs in right there, and you get your bicep swivel and your hinge. You don't quite get 90 out of the hinge, but the swivel does work. Now, here's something to note. This elbow piece right here is a separate piece that has just a flat piece of plastic with a hole in it that the peg from the elbow, it sits over that and it holds it in place. So that kind of does pull out that peg a little bit. And when I was first posing this guy, this elbow, the whole thing came off, the whole forearm. It does just peg back in. It didn't break, but since this makes it a little harder to fit, just be aware that the arm may pop off, but you should be okay with it. So you still have that hinge. You still have the swivel at the armor right here. This one's a little bit loose. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but you can just kind of wedge it back on. You have your swivel and hinge for the hands again, of course. You have your ball peg for the torso, which works really well. I love that. That's nice. The belt piece, again, is a separate floaty piece. This is a separate piece from that one. This is connected to the crotch. And so then we have, well, there. It's not glued on. It just pegs in, so you can move it easily if you need to. So you have the T-jointed hinge, so you'll have the forward and back. It is a little floppy, much like the NECA Predators. It tends to get a little bit loose forward and back. Not sure why that's an issue, but it is. You have the hinge that lets them go all the way out to the side, so that's really good. If this doesn't get tucked into the boot, you have basically unlimited range. You can kick just as high as you want to with your medieval knight looking guy. You have your thigh swivel in there. Doesn't he? He should have a thigh. Yeah, he does. This one's, there it goes. Very nicely hidden. Wasn't even sure since it was stuck that it was in there, but it is, so that's good. You have your knee hinge, which should give you pretty good range. Yeah, almost exactly 90, depending on the curvature and how you want to measure it, so that's pretty good. You have your swivel in the boot, which you really won't need, but you do have that. And then lastly, we have our ankle hinge, which is a true ball hinge. They go pretty far forward and pretty far back, and then you can rotate it around for a true ankle hinge. So it's a really solid figure, other than the slight looseness in the hips and a couple of issues where the articulation is maybe a little more limited than we would like. It's still a really cool figure, and I think you guys are going to like it a whole bunch, especially once you throw the shoulder pads on. You'll see in the photos at the end, these guys just get really imposing and cool looking really fast. I like them a whole bunch. I think you will too. Now, they are going through Kickstarter for these lines, these waves of figures every time. So if you missed out on that, you probably don't want to go to eBay because it's going to get pretty pricey. Big Bad Toy Store does have a lot of them available, so you want to check out that link in the description below and get them before you do have to go to eBay. Because I've seen a lot of these guys end up being over $100 a pop, which you don't want to pay because that's a whole lot of money. So check out that link if you want to get any. If not, that's cool. That's up to you. But I do like them. I think you will too. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you turn on notifications if you want to see more. And in the meantime, keep collecting.